My name is Ryan Carter. I'm 38 years old, and for a long time, I believed I had built the perfect life, a beautiful home, 2 amazing kids, and a wife I thought I could trust. But everything changed the day I found a small flash drive tucked behind the bathroom mirror. I wasn't snooping. The mirror had come loose, and as I adjusted it, something slipped behind the frame. I pulled it out, thinking it might be my son's toy. It wasn't. It was a flash drive, unmarked and dusty. Curiosity got the better of me, and that decision opened a door I never knew existed. When I plugged it into my laptop later that night, the screen lit up with audio files, dozens of them. I hesitated. But once I hit play, everything I knew about my life shattered. The voice was unmistakably hers, Jessica, my wife. Laughing, whispering, confessing things that didn't make sense at first. But then it became clear. She was talking to someone else, maybe her friend, maybe someone closer. She talked about our home like it was hers alone. She mocked me. She listed names, men she'd met, nights I was away, weekends I thought she was visiting family. I sat there, frozen. My hands trembled, not because of what she did, but because she thought I would never know. I didn't sleep that night. Over the next few days, I pretended everything was normal. Smiled. Cooked breakfast. Took the kids to school. But inside, something had shifted. I wasn't just heartbroken, I was focused. You see, when trust is broken in silence, the only way to respond is through strategy. I started observing her. The odd hours. The calls she'd take outside. The book club that somehow never reads books. And then came the final straw. One evening, while I was on a work call, she slipped out. Said she needed groceries. But she left her location sharing on by accident. She didn't go to the store. She went to a quiet motel, just outside town. That night, I didn't confront her. Instead, I set my plan in motion. If Jessica wanted to play games behind my back, she picked the wrong man. What she didn't know is that I had already started recording. Every call. Every lie. Every step. The game had changed, and I wasn't going to fight her with anger. I was going to fight her with the truth. And when it was all done, I would make sure she never saw it coming. I wasn't in a hurry. The key to bringing down a liar is patience. Let them build their little tower of secrets, brick by shaky brick, then watch it collapse under the weight of their own words. Jessica still had no clue I was recording everything. I upgraded the house's security system, saying it was for the kids' safety. She smiled and nodded. What she didn't know was that 2 tiny mics were now planted in the kitchen and living room, the places where she made most of her private calls, thinking I wasn't around. One night, I caught her whispering on the phone in the pantry. The walls are thin in that part of the house. She was laughing about how she drained me dry in the divorce once she was ready to pull the trigger. Said she'd keep the house, the kids, and leave me sleeping on a friend's couch. I pressed record. It wasn't just betrayal anymore. It was a strategy against me. And I wasn't going to sit back. A few days later, she came home from one of her so-called book nights completely out of it. Slurring her words, stumbling over her own feet. The kids were asleep upstairs, and I stood silently in the hallway, just watching. She didn't see me. She dropped her purse, pulled off her heels, and collapsed on the couch, talking to herself. That was the first night I caught her on video. The next morning, she didn't remember anything. Just complained about a headache and blamed the wine. I smiled and handed her some aspirin. Behind the scenes, I was collecting everything. Audio files. Video clips. Bank statements showing strange transfers. Her phone bill with unknown numbers calling after midnight. And then, the best piece of all, her friend, Danielle. Danielle used to be Jessica's closest confidant. but something had shifted between them. I reached out, carefully. She didn't answer my first message. But the second one? That got her attention. We met at a coffee shop across town. She came wearing sunglasses, like she was in a movie. Turns out, Jessica had bragged to her about everything, the secret men, the fake grocery runs, even the plan to file divorce papers right after she'd drained our savings. I couldn't believe what Danielle told me next. Jessica had once left our 2 kids home alone, asleep, so she could go meet someone downtown. It was just a quick visit, she'd said. They won't even know I left. That was it. The final spark. I wasn't hurt anymore. I wasn't even angry. I was awake. Jessica had turned our marriage into a game of deception. But she'd forgotten one thing. I knew how to play too. And I was about to make my move. By now, I had everything: audio, video, witness accounts, and documents. But I wasn't interested in court battles or drawn-out drama. I wanted a clean win. So, I moved back into the house. Legally, I still had every right. Jessica exploded the moment she saw me walk in with a suitcase. She yelled, threatened to call the police. I said nothing, and quietly tapped my phone. She didn't realize I was recording as she shouted about her new boyfriend, how I was ruining her plans, and how she couldn't party in peace with me there. Her words, not mine. An hour later, she followed through, called the cops and accused me of threatening her. I sat calmly on the porch, waited for them to arrive, and handed over the recording. The officers listened. Faces changed. They asked her a few questions. She stumbled. Within minutes, they were the ones putting her in the back seat. She was gone. The next morning, I filed for divorce. With the help of Danielle and the evidence I had collected, my attorney filed a restraining order and a motion for sole custody. The court didn't take long to decide. She was granted supervised visitation until she could prove she was stable. I kept the house. I kept my savings. Most importantly, I kept my children safe. Jessica never saw it coming. She thought she was playing a game of secrets. But I had been playing chess. And I had just delivered checkmate.